Hello there, this is Dave Allen for EV20 Questions, and you know what, it's Tuesday and it's a road trip day. Well, yesterday I went out on a small road trip. I went to Girona, but I didn't do any charges. Just went out for a drive in my car just because I fancied it. Because I hadn't been driving my car for about 4 days because I went on a trip to Les Angles in the Pyrenees and I didn't take my car. Well, I'm glad I didn't take my car because the fact we went in the car of my wife, which is a Renault Kangoo, so I had a lot more space to put stuff. That was the main reason for going. But it was going to be wet and it was going to be raining and there was a bit of snow. We got the snowshoes for her car, but we hadn't got snowshoes for my car. And it was also the fact that we were taking the dog with us as well. And I really didn't want to have a wet, dirty dog in the back of my car. So we went in the Kangoo and you know what, it was okay. But I missed Rosie. I really missed my car. But that's the way it goes. You have to live with that, don't you? So, while I was away, though, I did think about electric cars because while I was in Les Angles, I did go and do a search for the 2 charging points in the town. There are 2 places. They are Revio ones, which you can use with the new Motion card and probably other cards as well. Like the one from Soda Trail, which is now called Vizier or Azivier or something like that. Anyway, I just can't remember, but it's a different name now. But you can use those cards with it, and they're Type 2 chargers, so you need to leave them there for a while, and you do have to pay for them. But I went and found those 2 chargers, and that was good. And then on the way back, I stopped in another place called Prades or Prades, because it was in France and they don't pronounce all the parts of the words as we do here in Spain. And we stopped in Prades and I found another charging point there as well, another one of the same type of chargers. And you know what, France is brilliant. There's about 3 times as many chargers in France as there are in Spain. France is just doing so much better than Spain. I don't know what's happening with Spain. They're just not picking up the ball and running with it, and they should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out towards La Roca village. There's 2 chargers there. I'm going to have a look at those, take some pictures, try them out, and make sure that they work and so on. And then I'll go around towards Mataró and check those ones out there. And then on my way back home, I'll call into Tordera. I want to get there this time. The last couple of times I've tried and I haven't managed to stop there. I've been always sort of in a bit of a rush to get back home again. Last time I wanted to get back for the Apple event that was taking place in New York. It was on television and I wanted to just be there to watch it. Anyway, so that's my plan for today. I've got 272 in the battery at the moment. It's fully charged. That's with the air conditioning off or the heating off. Let's put the heating on. And that comes down to 268. So that's a bit of a difference. If I put on the heated seat, not making any difference whatsoever to the amount of kilometres I've got in there, so that's all right. So I'll be using a heated seat today. I might still use a bit of the heating, the air conditioning, but it's better to warm the person rather than warm the whole of the area. So that's my plan for today. I've got the drive computers all set up, ready to go. Drive computer 1 and drive computer 2. It's already counting down. That's the thing with this here, it counts down from when you've set the drive computer. It doesn't count the amount of time that you're driving. So really, if you're going to do some checking out with your drive computer and you want to check the amount of time that you're driving, that you have to do a reset before you actually start driving. So I press the OK button now to do a full reset. Confirm reset all, yes, and we're in business again. So let's just back out of that. So now it's counting down again, but that's okay. So that's my plan for today, and I'll give some more updates as I get around to these other places on my journey. Talk to you again soon. Okay, so I've arrived at my first destination and I've just shown you what the charger looks like. It's a different one that I haven't seen before. It's got a Schuko plug on this side of it, and on the other side of it, you've got a Type 2 plug. I've done 67 kilometres, I'm down to 72%, and the charge is coming in probably at 6 or 7 kilowatts. I'll just change now to the right screen here and have a look. And it's going in at 6 kilowatts, and it would take 20 minutes to get to 75%, which is pretty slow really. I think it must be less than 6 kilowatt, but that's what it's saying, 6 kilowatt on there anyway. The place I'm at is Roca Village, and it's a outlet sort of place and lots of shops and stuff there. I'm going to have a quick look. I don't really want to go shopping, but I'll go and have a look anyway while it's doing some charging and then come back to you. The details so far for my drive-in have been 6.5 kilometres per kilowatt hour, which is pretty good going. Sometimes I get up to 7, but today it's only at 6.5. Even though I didn't go on the motorway, I kept on the main roads, or the sort of A roads as it were, and I've done 67 kilometres. And my average speed has been 56 kilometres per hour, and I've been driving for around about an hour or so. So that's about the size of it for the moment. It's been a nice little drive here. I've been on the motorway, so it's been quite pleasant. Been able to look at sort of stuff as I've been going along. One of the things that you tend to see on the roads as you go along here, that you perhaps don't want to see, is there's an awful lot of prostitutes sitting by the roadside in plastic chairs, waiting for business to stop and do the business. And that seems to be a thing around here. I mean, at one time the Spanish or the Catalonian police had moved them off and stopped them from sitting by the side of the road, but now they're back again, and they're all over the darn place. Anyway, if you're interested in that sort of thing, it's been a sort of easy sort of trip so far, and I'm going to go and have a look in the shops and see how much I've got in there when I've finished. When I stopped here and started charging, I'd got 181 kilometres left in the battery, and I say I got still on 72%. It's going in pretty slowly, so I don't expect to have a huge change in the amount of charge in the battery by the time I've had a quick walk around, and I'll tell you when I get back. Bye bye now. Well, I'm still at that rocker. I've just got back into the car after doing a bit of charging up. I'm up to 82% now, and I think I can't remember, it was some 70 something before, and now I've got 206 kilometres in the Gesso meter, which has only added 26 kilometres to the range. So I'm sure that the amount of juice that was going into the battery from this charger wasn't very good. It was probably more like 3 or 4 kilowatts rather than the 6 that you expect to get from a Type 2 charger. But that's okay, it's fine. Normally I'd probably spend a little bit longer here. I'm not exactly sure how long I was here. Perhaps I was here about 3/4 of an hour, something like that. It was okay. I mean, there's plenty of shops here. Lots of shops where you could spend lots and lots of money if you wanted to. All of the sort of big names, Burberry, Jimmy Choo. There's everything there. I mean, if you want to sort of buy, stuff at stupid prices because it's got a fancy name on it, this is the place to come. So on the way back out here, it's quite funny because obviously it's looking a bit dodgy because I walked around the outside of the shopping centre rather than walking back through the sort of main sort of drag where all the shops are. I came walking through the car park, and I must look dodgy because they stopped me. There was, first of all, a guy who came up with me and stopped and said he wanted to have a look inside my bag. He was riding a little moped thing. And then another guy came along, and another one came along. So there's 3 of them all talking to me. And I had to open my bag up and show them what was inside. And obviously when they've got a lot of stuff in the shops there that's expensive, and they think that people's going to nick it, so I must have been looking very dodgy indeed. Anyway, this is Dave Allen, having a good old time in La Rocca village, and maybe I'll come back again despite the fact that they think I'm looking dodgy, and next time I'll bring my wife and we'll just have a walk around and she can look at all the stuff and not buy anything because it's too damned expensive to spend any money here. Well, I was close by, so I thought I'd stop and check it, and the charger at Granolia's, the one by the Adjustments, which is in the place of by some sporting places. There's all sorts of sporting bits and pieces here, but anyway, none of that matters because the charger doesn't work anyway. I've managed to pull in front of the place, and I showed it my car just in case it was just needed in the car to show it to get the RFID going and working and stuff like that, but nothing happened. So. But it's only been like maybe 3 weeks since the last time I came and had a look, but I was in the area, so I thought, well, I'll come and check and see if it was working again, and it's not, so I'll have to send a message to the Adjustment for Granolia's and ask them what they're going to do about it and see if they're going to get the thing charged up at some point in time soon. So I pulled into another one here in Granolia's, and it's a little post in the street, and there's just one parking bay in front of it. It's kind of like a one-way street, so it's not so good for the front loader cars where you've got the plug-in at the front, although I think the cable I've got, I'd have to use the granny cable because it's the Schuko type plug on this. It's not Type 2, so it wouldn't be very fast. You wouldn't want to stay here for too long. In fact, you can stay here for a maximum of 2 hours. That's not going to put a lot of juice in there when you're working at 3 kilowatts with the Schuko, the granny cable. So it's place to come if you're absolutely desperate to get some juice into your car in Granolia's. And as I say, the other one in Granolia's still isn't working, and who knows when that's going to be working, but the rapid charge that's over there. But anyway, give it a try, and the way it worked was to scan a QR code on the post. I'd already sort of registered for this service. I must have done one of the other places, the other charges I've been to, maybe the one at Tossa de Mar. And basically, I on my phone already had the password and the username in there, and I just went to the website, and all of a sudden the thing at the top of it sort of popped up and displayed the 2 Schuko plugs there. So not bad. It was good in terms of the way it all worked and everything else, and well done. I've called into another charger where I've been before, and it wasn't working, just to see if it's now working, and it's still not working. It's still saying blocked by the supervisor, and it's the one called Go Fast in Mataró. It's next to a roundabout. It's next to some car centres where they sell Volvos and stuff like that, and we're not too far away from the sea. A bit disappointed that it's not working, but just that's the way it goes, isn't it? Maybe I'll send an email to the Ajuntament of Mataró and find out what's going on there. Maybe they'll going to get it fixed up and sorted out at some point in time. There are 2 others here in Mataró. I'm going to go to the one down by the sea and see if that's working, because that's another one that wasn't working last time I came, which was probably about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and it'd be nice to see if that one's working. And if not, then I can go to the one there that's at the Avenida Finlandia and try that one out to see that's going. There is another possibility, but I don't think it's going to work for me at the moment, is that there is a Nissan dealer not too far away, and it won't work for me now because the fact that the Nissan dealer is closed, I think. Most likely. What time is it now? It's 3 o'clock. It's probably closed. I'll go and have a look at that. It's not on plug share at the moment, but I know that there is a charger there because I've seen it. It's inside the workshop, just inside behind the door, and maybe I can pull in there and put some charge in. It'd be nice to be able to add another charger to the plug share app, because I don't think that was on the actual plug share app. So I've just been to the Nissan dealer in Mataró, Maresme, and I was disappointed to see that the charger there is still not working. I looked at the charger there, I saw it was there when I was looking at cars in May, and I didn't have my car then, so I didn't look too closely, but the charger was there, but I didn't know if it was working or not, and he said that it's been put in there, it's not working, and he didn't seem too bothered. I don't think they're bothered about selling electric vehicles here in Spain, because if they were bothered, they'd make sure that all the chargers, the rapid chargers they put into the dealerships, were actually functioning. And there was just a sign on the side of it saying no funciona. So I've decided to come down to the other charger, which I called out maybe a month ago. It's a one that's on right by the beach, and it's still not working. It's dead as a doornail still, and that's disappointing as well, because there's 3 chargers here in Mataró which are not working. That's the one a bit further along towards the city. There's the one in the Nissan dealers that not working, and this one here that's not working. So I might just take a trip up to the one at Finlandia and see if that one's working. It was working before. Last time I went to it, there was car charging there, so I didn't stay, and I went and carried on to somewhere else. I'm not really that bothered about getting some juice into the battery, but I want to see if these are working, because someone could be driving along here looking to get some charge into the car and being very disappointed because the fact that there's 3 chargers not working, and maybe I'll go to that 4th one and it'll function and we'll be in business. Let's go and see. And if not, there are still other ones that are not too far away, but at the same time it's a bit annoying. Questions. I'm at the service station at Tordera. I suppose one of the things to note is that there's not too many places on the motorways these days in Spain where you can get charged with your car. It's about time that they putting in these chargers in these service stations on the motorway. It's kind of an important thing, really. Over in the UK, they've got Ecotricity and all the service stations over there on the motorways, I think, apart from one. So it's something that we need to have in Spain here as well. I'm not sure what it's like in France, because I was just in France there, and there's 3 times as many chargers over there, so there's probability that a lot of the service stations on the motorways have got the chargers as well, and that's something to note. but it'll happen sooner or later. Probably more like later with being Spain, but there you go. Anyway, I stopped at this place, Tordera, just to use the facilities. I'm on my way to the supermarket in Tordera itself, the town, and there's 4 Type 2 chargers in there. And it's been a funny old sort of day, really, because it started off well with me getting to the shopping village in La Roca, and that was great because I had to pull in some charge there. It wasn't an awful lot. I mean, I did about 26 kilometres, but it was enough to sort of make it so I could drive around as much as I want to, sort of around this side of Barcelona without having to worry too much. Looking at the gasometer, I've still got 126 kilometres on there, 46% in the battery, and it's not looking too bad, really. I've got plenty for getting home. For getting home, it's going to take, another 30 or 40 kilometres. It's not much, really. I mean, I'll be home in a hop, skip and a jump. It would be nice if I could have put some juice into the battery from a rapid charger as well, and that didn't happen today because of the fact I went to one of the Nissan garage, it wasn't working. I went to one of the beach in Mataró, it wasn't working. I got to Finlandia and that was being used. There was an e-golf parked up there. I didn't know how long it was going to be, so there was no person there to stop and ask, so I decided I wasn't going to wait anyway. So that was a bit disappointing, really. I went to 4 there that I wasn't able to get using. If someone was on a long trip and they hadn't got many kilometres left on their battery, that would be a bit dicey. But for me, it doesn't really matter, but I kind of expect these things to be working, and I'm going to have to send an email to the gentleman at Mataró and ask them what they're going to do about it, get them to fix their chargers in Mataró. So anyway, the next stage now is to carry on driving, get to the chargers in the supermarket. It's a Mercadona supermarket. It's a supermarket that we go to very regularly in San Feliu. They're putting a charger in there, but it hasn't been connected up yet, so I can't actually use it. It'll happen at some point in time. And anyway, this other Mercadona I'm going to has got 4 parking bays there, I know, and hopefully there's going to be at least 4 charging points that I can take my pick off, and they're going to be Type 2 ones, Type 2 charging points, and with that I'm certain I'll be able to get some charging while I have a little wander around the supermarket.